G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the new Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks LR and the Jiren Carnival LR that'll be coming to DBZ Dokkan Battle Global. So we are going to be previewing two Carnival LRs at the same time. Very interestingly, but hey, it's going to be a ton of fun, so let's see how it goes. So we have the Majin Buu Saga category, Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense of 200%. Links are Super Saiyan, Fuse Fighter, Over in the Flash, Kamehameha, Innocence, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Pretty much everything as you would expect, to be honest with you. Nothing too crazy whatsoever. In terms of passive, this is where things get interesting. Ki plus 7, attack and defense of 200%, and additional defense of 77% when receiving an attack and after receiving an attack. Plus an additional attack of 77% within the same turn, and reduces damage received by 22% for 5 turns from the character's entry. So Ki plus 7, attack and defense of 200%, an additional defense of 77% when receiving an attack, and after an attack is received, an additional 77% attack within the same turn. 22% damage reduction for those first 5 turns is pretty good. An additional 77% defense and 33% damage reduction when there's another final trump card category ally on the team. Randomly changes key spheres of certain type to rainbow key spheres. So pretty good stuff so far. Then an additional 1 key per key sphere obtained. An additional attack and defense of 100% when key is 12 or more. An additional attack at 77% and launches an additional super attack when key is 18 or more. An additional attack at 77% and performs a critical hit when activating the active skill when key is 24, and a high chance of a defense plus 777% within the same turn when receiving a super attack. Reduces damage received by 44% temporarily and counters with ferocious power when receiving a key blast super attack. So just to break this down for you, Gotenks Senshi is again kind of along that key / RNG line that he usually is. So basically, to cut a long story short, guaranteed crits when key is 24, that's great. Then if he receives a super attack of any kind, he has a 50% chance of triggering at 77% defense, which is 777% defense, which is really good. Then if he receives a key blast super attack, he will reduce damage received by 44% temporarily, so for the super attack alone, giving him a 77% damage reduction in total, and he will counter. So basically, for any other kind of super attack, he has that 50% save and grace. For Ki Blast supers, he's pretty much nigh invincible, which is pretty cool. Overall, he looks really good. He is very key dependent, so those key links are going to be super important. He does have plus 1 key per key sphere. He does have plus 7 key in the passive, and in general shouldn't really have too many issues getting him key, but it is super crucial. Those additional supers, everything all really come together with him. He has an active skill which can be activated after he receives an attack 3 or more times when there's another final trump card category ally in the same turn. This will massively raise attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage, and raise defense by plus 77% for 1 turn. Overall, he's on a ton of categories with Majin Buu Saga, Fusion, Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan 3, Youth, Kamehameha, Violent Trump Card, Special Pose, Rapid Growth, Saviors, Connected Hope, Gifted Warriors, Heavenly Events, Time Limit, Master Evolution, Trusted Will, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Fused Fighters, and Earthbred Fighters. And he has 2, obviously, super attacks as always, greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn, and greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn. On his 12 and 18 keys, with his 18 key greatly lowering defense. Overall, Gotenks looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he looks really good. I think he could be probably the go-to mainstay first slot tank for the Majin Buu Saga team. Remember, he triggers a ton of passives for a lot of other units as well. Like a great example is the AGL LR Ultimate Gohan, who gets his unit super attack boosted by having a Gotenks on rotation. He also links up really well with all the other Gotenkses on the team as well. So yeah, I'd say pretty good overall. The final trump card condition is actually easy to meet for him. So yeah, I think he's a really solid unit. Then we also get to take a look at Jiren. Jiren obviously being a very interesting unit. He is also a Carnival unit and the first dual category 200% lead. Although that doesn't mean much when Universe 11 is the other category, which is why they did it. There's a USS lead of 200% and a Universal Survival Saga lead. And a Universe 11 lead of 200%. Spring Warrior, Shocking Speed, Infighter, Godly Power, Tournament Power, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power are his link set. Obviously very Jiren centric. Nothing too crazy. And his passive is very simple, at least in base. Key +8, attack and defense of 350%. Disables the attacked enemy's action once within the turn. Reduces damage received by 50%. An additional attack and defense of 50% when attacking. Great chance of crit. And an additional attack of 100% and an additional damage reduction of 11% as a second or third attacker in the turn. So basically, he is just really good. Very simple, very straightforward. Nothing too difficult to understand here. No need to go into big detail yet. He has a standby mode which can be activated from the 3rd turn. This will allow him to stand by for 5 turns, during which time his charge count will increase by 1 per key sphere. Obviously he's on very limited categories, well, relatively limited. Full Power, Space Traveling Warriors, Universal Survival Saga, Universe 11, Realm of Gods, Transformation Boost, Space Traveling Warriors, Powerful Comeback, Defensive Justice, Battle of Fate, Tournament Participants, and Super Bosses. And he raises attack and defense 1 turn on his 12 key, whilst greatly raising attack and defense with a high chance of stunning on his 18 key. Entering his standby mode is where things get a little bit more interesting. He's unable to attack, he has 350% defense, he gives all allies key +3, damage reduction of 50%, and within each key sphere obtained an additional damage reduction of 11%. He gets a defense of 100% when receiving an attack and randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to AGL key spheres. He gives all allies 70% attack for 2 turns when the character is the 2nd or 3rd to obtain key spheres in a turn. So basically, you can use him as a front slot tank if you want to, or if you feel like you're comfortable, you can switch him to a 2nd or 3rd slot and rather use him as an offensive support, but either way he can't attack and he's still pretty tanky regardless. Supreme Warrior, he's gained Cold Judgment, Infighter, Godly Power, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power are his link sets. Nothing too crazy happens here from what I understand. Realistically, basically once his standby has expired, then we get Jiren Full Power. So Jiren Full Power, very interesting unit, way different in terms of passive, you can kind of see here. So not, again, it's still super complicated. I mean, if you look at the wall of text that Gotenks' passive is, this is not anything like that. Key +11, attack and defense of 400%, damage reduction of 60%, an additional damage reduction of 11%, and foresees enemy super attacks 1 turn from the character's entry turn. An additional attack and defense of 111% when attacking, great chance of forming critical hit with each super attack performed, plus an additional chance of critting of 11%. An additional attack of 50%, attacks guaranteed to hit and performs a critical hit when key is 24, and an additional 50% attack with each super attack received. So, to cut a long story short, incredibly good unit. So, 400% attack and defense, key +4, huge. Damage reduction 60%, really solid. Additional 11% for that first turn, really good. Pushes him to 71%, which is really nice. He gets that big attack and defense boost when attacking. He also has a great chance of forming a crit. And with each super attack performed, he gets an additional crit chance as well. So very quickly, he builds himself up to basically being able to crit all the time, which really kind of makes it weird that his 24 key gives him more crit. Would have been nice if they made him do like an additional super or something, because he really has so much crit built in. But anyway, he has an additional 50% attack and guaranteed hit at 24 key, and a huge attack boost with each super attack received, which is also very interesting. So overall, really straightforward unit. Super simple damage reduction, big damage reduction, really impressive. Can see super attacks in the first turn, really solid. Raises defense 1 turn on his super, which is fine. Greatly raises defense, massively raises attack. All pretty straightforward and solid. Honestly speaking, I think Jiren's pretty simple and pretty cool. I do wish that they had just built him a little bit more with additionals in mind, but we'll see. I think Jiren very obviously is designed to kind of uplift that kind of Universe 11 team. And yeah, we'll have to see just how good he is, but he is really, really solid looking. Very simple passive comparative to someone like Gotenks, who kind of has that wall of text. But yeah, we'll take a look at both of their animations now. So yeah. So obviously animations wise, look, I think the animations are pretty good for Gotenks. I always like the shading and coloring of a lot of Majin Buu Saga material, largely just due to, I think, my favoritism for the colors and shading that they used at that time. I think, you know, a lot of 90s Dragon Ball has that kind of faded cell aesthetic and appeal that really gives the lighting some interesting choices. Look, I think the animations and the scenes for Gotenks ultimately are pretty cool. I think his count is pretty cool. I must be honest, I don't remember clearly how much of this could be original shots. I don't think a lot of it is. I think some of it is. I don't think a lot of it is distinctly original shots. I know the ghost attack is definitely obviously not that original. I do wish there were maybe 1 or 2 more frames in the ghost attack, just to kind of keep it cool. I do also wish they had a reference to him high-fiving the ghost, because I think that's also cool, but obviously then the ghost would blow up, but I still find that really cool. Jiren, look, Jiren's animations are okay. I think Jiren as a character, especially the earlier parts of his fights, didn't specifically have amazing like animations, even in the show. Like if you think back, a lot of it was singular attacks that were launched very quickly, did a lot of damage, etc. So it wasn't like he had these absolutely amazing like moments that really gave him a huge bunch of source material to work with. So I do think like that realistically could be part of the reason why his animations don't necessarily have like a huge amount of sway, but at the same time it's not really like a major train smash to me. I still think his animations are pretty good and pretty impressive. So yeah, I think ultimately they are still pretty impressive and pretty cool. Yeah, so nothing too wild and nothing too bad at all. I think once he's in his full power form, I think things look pretty decent. Obviously the referencing here is from some of the better episodes of Super,